everyone, welcome to Kats Creations, where tonight we are going to be doing a Kansas inspired grapevine wreath. So I kind of gave you a little bit of a hint. If you guys have been looking at my Facebook post earlier today, I try to give you a sneak peek before we go live if I know technically what we're making. And I had two different designs, and sadly some of the supplies didn't come in for the first concept, so I've had this one sitting for a while, so I thought we'd put it together now. So housekeeping sounds like someone knocking on your door. Housekeeping rules: if you like this video and want to put it together, once you collect all your materials, click the click the share button. The share button will share this tutorial on your page, and then that way when you get everything together, you have it handy. If you want to get notified when we have a new tutorial coming up, because we might be changing some of our dates just based on the needs of stuff going on in the family right now. So you might see us do some pop-up videos throughout the week. So make sure you're clicking the like and follow button so that you don't miss any of those lives. And then once you're on the video, go ahead and click the three dots in the upper right hand corner. Make sure you turn your notifications on for live Facebook live notifications, I guess. And then YouTube subscribers, you want to make sure that you just click the subscription bell in the upper right hand corner on YouTube, and then you'll be notified whenever we drop a new video for you guys to participate in. But YouTubers, if you'd like to participate in the live, join us at KatsCreationsNMore on Friday right now, and Sunday at 5 Pacific on Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific on Sunday. And I think that takes care of housekeeping items. Oh, also, if you're new, let us know. We'd like to welcome you. You never know when you'll make a neighboring crafting person through a Facebook Live. So let's get started.
What are we going to do with stars for this month?
I haven't figured that one out yet. Yeah, I've got to research a little bit further. I know that in the next couple of months, we'll be kind of rotating and we'll catch up with stars from last year. So we'll be able to aggressively fundraise for the school book program before school starts instead of with school already in session. Yeah. So this is an 18-inch grapevine. This is from Michael's. I took the time this morning because I hate watching people try to clean their grapevines during the live, because it could take a while, because you want to make sure you do the top side, but that you also flip it over to the back side and make sure that you remove any sticks, branches, any type of debris. I usually take the pine branches and pine needles out because I don't like to see them and they shed a lot. And then this way, when the wreath is being transported to the customer, you don't want to have all the debris laying on the bottom of the box as it's making its way to their location. So just make sure you take your hands, run your hands over the top of it, feel for any type of rough edges or spots. Take your wire cutters and trim it off if need be. My favorite way to clean an overly messy grapevine is just to take a butter knife or a screwdriver and then just kind of pry these apart and give it a couple shakes, and it'll generally knock most of the debris out. So Michael's 18-inch, this is a round grapevine, it's not an oval. And so we're going to start putting things together so that we can put this all together in place. If you guys have any questions, please make sure that you type your questions in. Steve's going to field the questions for you so that I can keep going. If you find that we have not addressed your question, can you please post it again? Because sometimes Facebook doesn't post everything. Sometimes they skip and then all of a sudden it adds it into the live at the end. So there's that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to prep my sign first of all. It's actually going to go over on this side of my wreath, which is "There's no place like home." For those of you that are concerned about copyright issues or trademark issues, I have thoroughly researched everything that I'm using tonight, and the items that we are sharing are not copyrighted items. Example, the phrase, "there is no place like home," is not a copyrighted phrase. Everybody's using it, from real estate to alcohol to travel. Everybody is using this phrase, so it is not a copyrighted phrase. Also, for those of you that are thinking The Wizard of Oz is a trademark or copyrighted item, even though that's kind of the theme that we're using, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum is not a copyrighted item anymore. It actually went into the public domain in I can't remember. I want to say it was like 1935. The book and everything contained in the book is public domain, which means you can use it. However, anything that is referenced in the movie version is trademarked and copyrighted until the year 2035. And then all of that stuff will enter into the public domain, which means that things like Toto, it's okay for you to use it, but if you use the brand of dog that was depicted in the movie, like that exact breed, that would be considered a copyrighted item. Because in the book, they don't really reference the dog as a particular type of a breed. It's just a dog referred to as Toto. So that's to help clarify people who say, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing this. This is copyrighted. That's a legal thing." So I researched it before we went live.
Linda asked, I noticed on my grapevine there's a couple of thick branches that are broken. How do I recommend fixing it?
There's a really good solution for, fixing broken grapevines or pieces that may be sticking out and aren't really holding together. What I have a tendency of doing is I'll incorporate a design element that's going to go over that area, and I'll take something that's known as binding wire. Let me show you what that looks like. I have it in my basket. So, where are you? Here it is. This is called binding wire. It's basically wire covered with brown floral tape. And you can take this, because it kind of matches the grapevine, kind of almost as it simulates the thinner threads of your grapevine. You can get this on Amazon for about, I want to say like 15 bucks, and it's a lot. It's like 900 feet. So use something like binding wire to kind of tie those together, or to kind of bind some of the items that are in your grapevine that you want to kind of keep together. Like maybe there's a section of it that's kind of loose. You can use binding wire to kind of tie that back together. Or brown floral wire works too. Okay, let's get this ready. So, knowing how I have my design planned, I don't want to incorporate any holes in the sign. This is a 5x7 sign. It's from Personalize It by Pam on Etsy. So if you like this, you can ask Pam to make you one. I wanted it just very simple, very plain, but I don't want to put holes in it either. So what I have opted to do is I'm going to flip this over to the back. I'm going to add one of my 1-inch cable ties, probably up to the top of this. And then I'm going to go ahead and put in my brown pipe cleaner right here, just like this. I'm going to give it a twist, and then it keeps it elevated. And then what I'm going to do, just to give it some extra security, is I'm going to take and line the edges of this with a Gorilla Glue on high. So that'll set that perfectly for extreme temperatures. So just like that, we'll let that dry while and everything is setting up. So I actually turned on my glue skillet kind of late. This is a 6-inch glue skillet. You can order one of these from Amazon. Steve's going to post my Amazon affiliate link if you want one. What we're going to do right now is we're going to do in what's called greening the base. So we're going to lay in all of our under type of floral. In this case, it's just going to be a Greenery that I got from Hobby Lobby. It came like this. I've already taken it and broken it down into pieces. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of fluff it out, because if we leave it the way it is, it doesn't really benefit us that much. Then if we take it and we fluff it, and you'll see that now it went from this to this. This makes it more usable, covers up more space on our grapevine than if we just leave it like this. So we are going to be, I'm like trying to remember where I wanted to put these. And we're gonna place one right in here. So I'm just gonna bend this slightly to kind of fold along the lines of my grapevine. So I'm gonna place that there. We're gonna dip it into the glue skillet, which is filled with Gorilla Glue. We're gonna slide this right on in, just like that. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna pull all these out, just like this. Okay, making sure we get full use of that pick. And this is, like I said, from Hobby Lobby. This week, Hobby Lobby has all their florals that go on sale. So you can get these for 50% off. And we're gonna do this one right at the top, right over here. Just gonna slide this in, just like that. Perfect. Do the same thing, just so that we have a green base, because it's too hard to come in and do it after the fact. So I'm just adding slight curve to the center. Come in right here.
Thank you, Anna. She sent 200 stars.
Thank you so much, Anna.
Kathy hasn't picked her charity for this month, so when she does, she'll let everybody know.
Okay, do the same thing. Start at the bottom. So just
Helen asked what temperature is your glue skillet set on. It doesn't really have a temperature. There's like 0, a quarter, half, 3/4, and full. It's between 3/4 and full.
Yeah, it's like all it has is like little indicators on the line, so it goes off, and then there's like line, 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 line. It's the last line before going all the way to high. So that's like the easiest way for me to remember. Come in and lay this one in. So this. Okay. Fan these out again. Bend. So this one pick is enough to green the entire base the way I want. Make sure we pull those off. There we go. Okay. Fan, 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 fan.
Does the Greenery have a name?
It doesn't. It's just like my Hobby Lobby was so picked out this last week. I was lucky to find anything that was green. So it's in their section where they have all their picks, where it's all like greenery, and it just has these white little tips on the end. It actually wasn't the one I was looking for. It was the only one they had. So it's kind of like a sagey green with the little white tips at the ends of the leaves. Okay. Let's go ahead and get some to come over here.
No, it's a thank you for seeing to let my glue burn.
Yeah, you don't want to have it burn.
Yeah.
Because number one, the smell is horrible. I'm going to take this little one. It's going to go down here at the bottom.
Yeah, it's on one big bush. All this that she's cutting off is from one big bush.
Mm-hmm.
Guess that I may attempt another grapevine again soon.
Yay!
Should.
You did really good on the first one. They're actually not that scary. I actually like doing grapevines over all the others. Okay, this one, I think, trying to think. Do I want to go here? Do I want to go up here? Do I want to go here? I'm trying to remember like what's going everywhere. I think.
And yeah, that's how Kat feels. She's all, I like doing grapevines. To me, they're more fun and creative than decollage.
Yes. I think I'm gonna do. I think it needs to go kind of in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either that or it needs to go up here. But I feel like this feels a little like it needs something more.
So you said, are you zigzagging directions?
Kind of. So like normally you guys know that I always say go in the same direction. Like pick a direction and go in the same direction. However, this one has a couple of different elements that I'm going to show you, which cause it to kind of, like I want the little end pieces to kind of protrude behind other things that we're going to be, you know, placing in here. So they don't necessarily need to cover the whole grapevine because other things are going to come in and cover it.
You have several main kind of points of focus on this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's one central theme on this particular grapevine. So let's kind of fan this one a little bit like that. Okay, so we are going to come in and I'm going to actually add my bows next. So this is getting a double bow with a little bit of a twist. So we're using, and this was so hard to find, this color blue. I came across it once, I want to say in the fall of last year. I only bought 2 rolls of it and I knew I wanted to save it for this design. However, I don't know how I did it. I ended up using both and didn't have enough to use this design. So it took me forever to find one and I only found 2 rolls. So I was able to order it so I could at least get this design out of my head and into my design book. So we're going to use some red lame. We're using the blue gingham, and then we're going to be using a white Swiss dot. So these are my 3 color palettes for my bow, and it's going to be simple. They're all 1.5 inches. So I'm just going to take this and push this up. We're going to start with the bottom one first. I'm trying to think of how did I want to do this one. I think we're still doing blue on both on the bottom. So you need to determine how long your tails are going to be, first of all. If you're just doing kind of like a simple bow. For here, I want my tails to kind of cascade down kind of willy-nilly from the top part of the bow. So I like this length right here, which is 12 inches, which is perfect because that's how long the bottom one's going to be. So we're going to go ahead and dovetail the end. Let's grab this. Okay, dovetail is just taking your wired edges, bring them together. You're going to cut from the folded side right to the wired point. Okay, we said 12 inches for this. So here's 12. I'm going to put this in the bow dabra. And I'm going to go 5-inch loops. So it's going to go 5, 4, 3.5. So this one's going to go 5 inches here. So we'll set it right on the 10. Make sure this goes out to the 5. It's a 5-inch loop. Okay, make sure all the way out, 5 inches. And then we're going to do it again one more time.
Cindy, Max, and I from Kansas.
Hi. So this one totally speaks to your neck of the wood, our Kansas themed wreath. Okay, and then we're going to take this all the way out to 12 inches. I'm going to go just a touch longer. that one. Okay, now we're going to go with our red lame, and we're going to take this one down to 11 inches. Okay, up 11. Pinch it in, give it a twist, place it inside your Bodabra. I didn't want glitter on this one, so that's why I went with the lame. This one's going to come down a full inch to a 4-inch loop. Maybe we'll go 4.5. Let's see. Let's see where 4 winds up. There's 4. Let's go 4.5. I feel like 4 is just screaming a little too short. Okay, so we'll go 4.5. There we go. So we're going to do that twice. So remember, if you have your bottom one already done and measured, all you have to do is put your fingers in the top. Once you get it twisted, and just pull. But you will have to measure out your last 11 inches here. Dovetail again. Okay, we'll keep this one nearby. And then we're going to do our yellow. We're going to take this one, I think down to 3.5 is where I wanted this one. Okay, but it's going to have a 10-inch tail. So here's 10, twist, place that inside, flip it around, and let's measure where we want to see our loops fall. Let's see what that is. That is 3, it's like 3 3/4. So let's do that one. Measure, measure, measure. Okay. Right there. Do 2 on this side. Put your fingers in. Give it a pull. Fingers in here. Same thing. Okay, I am just going to add a small little loop to the center. So bring it down about that far. And I need to get a tail over there. So I think what I'm going to do is just I'm going to let it come out this far. And then when I go to tie it, I'm going to move it to the side. Just like this. So this is what I mean. Let me move this one here. I'm going to grab one of my pipe cleaners. I'm going to lift this up. Go ahead and push this down. I'm going to twist. This is what I meant, is I'm just going to pull it over to the side. And we're fluffing on the actual grapevine. Okay. So this one, we want to make sure all of our tails are down to the bottom. Okay. So just pull all your tails down. Tails down. There we go. So our tails are all there. Kind of pulling these up so they're kind of in proportion for where I want everything to kind of fall. Okay, so we are going to take this and go ahead and thread this. This is actually going to go right up here on the top. So this is another reason why you clean out your grapevines, is because when you want to feed your pipe cleaners down, it's super easy to do that because we have, except this one. So in this case, I find out where I want it to go. I'm going to take a butter knife. I'm going to give it a slight twist. I'm going to feed my other pipe cleaner right down to the bottom. And here we go. Okay, we'll bring that down. Nice and snug. I need to turn this slightly. There we go. Give it a couple twists. We won't tighten anything unless we're 100% proof positive. That's where we want it to go. Pull all these through. Have some kind of filter up. I'm just going to flip this upside down rather than lean all the way across the counter. So fluff. Fluff there. I'm going to take, twist those down.
Everyone joining in late.
Open, 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 and open here. That's a nice fluff for this side. We're going to kind of let these hang for now because there's some other things that need to go. So I can't have them in the way. I'm going to pull this down ever so slightly. Grab my loops. Okay, open. We'll open this one. Okay, just so everything is seen, you see all your colors all the way through. This one's kind of hiding way down here. There we go. There we go. Here's our center loop. So much easier than me having to stretch all the way across. Okay, now we can see all the colors. What's wrong?
I thought when you were talking this earlier, I thought the tails like down, not in.
No, they go in. Okay, so I'm going to make one more bow. This bow's going to go down here. So I'll push this one out of the way.
Oh, that's the top of the one.
That's okay. And I think I'm going to do yellow in the back for this one. And this one, I think I'm going to go a little longer. I'm going to go 14 for the bottom ones so that they can really stream. We might even trim those up. We just got to wait. Let's go 13. So I'm going to do yellow on the back side. Up, over, same dimensions. We're doing 5-inch loop to keep our bows the same size. That's a little long. There we go. 2 more. Flip this one. Okay, make sure this one goes out to our 13. Okay, one's all done. This way I won't lose all my pin heads. Okay, now we're gonna take our red. We'll lay the red in the middle. And on the bottom one, we're gonna have the blue on the outside. So this one is gonna go to 12. And I think we said this one was 4.5.
Actually, have their own primary colors.
I know. That's what I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting that they're slightly primary. Okay. Just making sure I get my first measurements down to a science. Then it just makes measuring the top ones so much easier. Making sure my yellow is out far enough. Okay. Now we'll do these. Really simple. I'm gonna move my tablet over. Pull these down. Same thing here. So why do you think we would go red, yellow, blue? Is there a significance in that? Or is that just, hey, they're primary colors, they look really cool together? There is a reason. And last one. Have you figured it out?
Have I figured it out?
Yeah.
I think so, but I'm not going to say
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
See if they can.
I could be wrong.
We'll see. Wow, I really tweaked my tablet. Oop. I just pushed it too far down. Okay. Here we go with our gingham. Okay. Pushing it in. And we said 13, 12. Let's do 11.
Dress shoes, Dorothy's dress and shoes.
Mm-hmm.
For the shoes of Dorothy.
What about
red
them?
shoes, yellow brick road.
Yes, you guys got it. So the gingham from her dress, the red with the lame sparkle is from her shoes, and the yellow signifies the yellow brick road. Without being too.
Alright, so I'm up on Kansas thing. Why is this called a Kansas shoe? Because it was a play on if this was copyrighted.
Yeah, technically. It just depends. See, the Wizard of Oz is a copyrighted term, but the Wonderful Wizard of Oz is not. So, to rule out any potential trademark or copyright infringement, I just say it's a Kansas-themed wreath. People in Kansas and the rest of us pretty much know what the significance is. So, yeah.
Yellow for the yellow brick road, red for the red slippers, and gingham for the dress.
Yeah, I tried to find a yellow lined ribbon, but man, with supplies being so short right now, it's a nightmare.
Thank you for all the loves and the likes. Feel free to share this.
Absolutely. Okay, so here's the last one. Can you tell we kind of flip-flop the colors so that there's a little bit of a variation, but not so subtle that you don't notice it right away. And this one doesn't get a center loop.
Somebody said Wizard of Oz is my sister-in-law's favorite childhood movie. Oh, she'll love this when it's done.
Oh, yeah. I've been trying to find everything that I wanted for the last 2 years to put this one together. So from trying to figure out how I was going to incorporate certain colors, certain theme items, certain embellishments, it's like it just wasn't available. So I kept saying, oh, just forget it. Oh, forget it. Maybe it's just not meant to be.
Yeah, how long have you had the shoes? I think you've had the shoes for a while, haven't you?
I haven't had the shoes for that long.
Oh.
Not that long. Nope, matter of fact, I just got them in. I just wasn't sure what I wanted to do. It's one of those things like where I'm not really sure what I want to do. Okay, so I'm just kind of hand fluffing this, and this is actually going to go right in here. So this one's actually nice. You can actually see all the way through. These are nice because you can take them and pull them tight to the frame. Okay. Pull all these down. Then we fluff. Fluff. Just like so. Fluff. Okay. So if we can open these are so small. Okay. So these all stream down. I need them to stream the other way. They're all wanting to fold up. So just kind of putting your finger underneath and pulling just kind of gives them a nice even look. So just like that. Okay, ready for some more embellishments? Some more embellishment fun. Okay, we are going to add in a couple things. Let me trim the string off of this one. Ooh, there we go. Okay, we have a rusted windmill blade. I think, I'm not sure. Maybe Factory Direct Crafts. I do know that I didn't know that I had this one already. And at Christmas time, I actually picked this one up at Hobby Lobby at Christmas. So it depends, whichever windmill blade you want to go with. Hobby Lobby had this this Christmas. I don't know if it's going to be something available now, but I liked the rusted one better. I just thought it looked more fun, a little bit more whimsical. So we are going to use that binding wire and find the bottom. There we go. We're going to take some of this and we're going to go ahead and secure that on through the holes that are so conveniently provided for us. I'm going to spin this upside down. So see all of our holes right in here. We're going to go ahead and secure this to our frame. Just like this. I want to make sure I have enough to go through. Once we do, we're going to twist. Okay. We are going to take this. Whoop. Had it in one fell swoop. Then I moved it, pulled it out. So here's one. Let's get this up so that it's actually attached where I need it to be. Just like that. And there we go. Got it all the way through. Gonna lift this up slightly. Gonna tie that down. Okay. Through the loop. It just wants to keep curling. Over the love. There we go. Tight, tight, tight. And our windmill is secure. Make sure. Blades all in. Okay. Here's our nice windmill blade. So we can even do fun, whimsical stuff like
Hey, Susan.
Move that in. Okay, there's that. Let's go ahead and affix our sign because our sign is now dry. So our sign, making sure everything is. Wow, I smashed that one. Didn't mean to smash my bow. We're going to go ahead and put this right up in here. Just like this. Make sure it stays nice and tight to the frame. On top, where I want it to stay. Okay.
The science from Personalize It by Pam.
We will kind of swag those out. Sometimes it's just making random little loops where you want them to fall. Okay, there's our sign. Let's add some more embellishments to this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're adding some poppies. So these are from Amazon. They come in a big bundle. They're fairly expensive because these are what's called lifelike poppies. They're very rubbery, so they mimic what a real poppy would feel like. I'm just gonna look here for placement to make sure. I think that was a little too long. Going right in here. Okay, so that's where the first one's going. Okay, right here. I'm gonna take another one. I don't want to cut them too short because I want to make sure that I have enough of a bite in here for them to rest against. So there's that one. Okay. There's a couple other things I need to put in before I can put all of these in. Okay, there's that one. Before I lay in the rest of my poppies, I need to come in with my simulated tornado. So this was what I felt most represented. I tried to use a grapevine cone. Didn't look good. It kind of fell apart. So I'm using this, which is just a cardboard cone. And this is gonna... Yeah, I wrapped it in twine. So this is my tornado. I just can't have it go a little too high. It has to stay fairly low. We're using binding wire again for that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed my binding wire in. it's nice and tight. I need to make sure I can get that in first. So let me go in and make sure I can get this out the other side. Once I get it out, it's going in the wrong place. It's coming out the side. Interesting, because I can see it hit my mat. There's that. And we'll make sure.
You should love the poppies.
Oh. Okay. It is there. Again, securing it where I want it to go. Making sure I have it down tight enough. Let me feed it down one more time.
So I'm not big on Grapevine Wreath, but this one's cute.
Aw, thanks, Jane. Okay, there's our cone, which is our simulated tornado. Take these, move that out. Okay, a couple things. We are going to be attaching a pair of miniature little ruby slippers. These are like little baby slippers. So I'm going to show you how you wire them in, because everything's all about the wire, right?
Yeah, yes, these are actually little baby shoes.
Yep. So they're rubberized on the bottom, which makes trying to penetrate it with 22 gauge wire almost like downright difficult. So I found if you use a metal skewer and go in the bottom of the shoe and making sure your skewer kind of pops up at the seam, you can pop a hole in it, just like that. I'm going to use my floral wire because I want it a little bit more stable. Right here. Okay. I'm going to go down through the hole. I know, give me a second.
Yeah.
I can pick up the skewer. Going back through the seam, right here, making sure my skewer is going to pop in the bottom. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to take it from the inside and there we go. So we have woven our wire through. It's in the bottom of the shoe. Okay. This one is actually going to sit back here a bit. It sits back far. So let's go in. Hopefully we can get this in one shot. There we go. Do the same on the other side. My wire never fails. It always wants to bend. Okay. There we go. So we got the first one in. I need these ones back a bit. I think I actually want this one back a little bit further. So I'm going to kind of go in a different direction. Okay, I've got one. I need to go up. Try not to pull it all the way out. But looking at where I have it going around, there we go. I have it. Okay. So there's the first one. And I already did the second one. I already have the wire all the way through. So you can kind of see why the greening the base was necessary first. Okay. And then we'll get the second one, which is going to, oh, I didn't do it. Not noting that there's right shoe, left shoe. So it looks odd. But, okay, we'll have to put the right shoe in first. So I actually want this one kind of tucked up under my bow a bit. So let's make sure I'm not there's that one. Please just go in.
That's usually one of the tough parts about the grapevines, though, sometimes getting them through.
Yeah, it will, because I had the first one on where I wanted it, and then I looked at the shoe and I was like, oh, wrong shoe. I did the left shoe, not the right shoe. Okay, so there's that one. That'll kind of just right there. Cone looks in there. And then our last shoe. Kind of goes in here. So down. There's one. Trying to see how I have that one done. Okay, where's this one gonna come? Trying to make sure these don't bend as I'm trying to feed it down. There we go. So we want them kind of snugged together. But slightly offset. Okay. One there, one there. Okay, now we're gonna add some more of our poppies right in here. There's one. Do not want to do that.
Claire said, why poppies?
Why poppies? Because in The Wizard of Oz, she runs through the field of poppies on the way.
Asleep, right?
Yeah, on the way to go see the wizard. Yep. Okay.
Yep, that's like Rosie fell through the field of poppies.
Mm-hmm.
Quick, oh, I don't remember that.
Yep, remember they were on their way to the Emerald City and the Wicked Witch was trying to stop them.
Yes.
So she made them fall asleep.
Victor said, oh, I don't remember that. Yep, well, I have to go back and watch the movie.
Let's make sure the glue comes off of that.
Can't believe it came out in 1939.
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Okay. I'm going to add another one right in here. We'll see if this one will work. Yeah, it will. Okay, there we go. We're going to probably come in and add some floral wire to keep this. I want the base to go snug right in here, and it just wants to pull down. Thank God for wired florals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we have one more. It's going to go over here. Next to that. And I think we had one more thing. Last thing. Where to put it though? Too close to that. Too close to this. I think we'll put it up here. See if we can make, there we go. Want this to kind of fall down. Okay, so let's glue it in first. There we go. Super simple, right? I like putting little waves in my ribbon. Let's spin this around so you guys can see.
It says the lion's heart of courage.
No, it was the Tin Man.
It was a Tin Man's.
The Tin Man needed a heart if he only had a heart.
Right.
So, but yeah, it could be the lion's heart of courage as well. Okay, I'm gonna trim some of these tails a bit. I'll take that much off from the yellow, which is our top. And then we'll cut these down just a little bit. So they kind of fall a little bit. I like this one up. Just a little bit. Still a little too long. I just don't like where it's falling in comparison to the yellow. There we go. Much, much, much better. And then it'll stay underneath. Well, now Need to trim this one just a little bit because now it's the same size as the red.
What do you think, guys?
There we go.
Did I keep giving up the legs and loves?
It's all done. Yep. That is it. And then these will just, you could roll them and then just kind of pull them out so they just slightly swirl like that. Pull them out to the side. Pull this. Slightly swirl that way.
Sabrina said this is a custom, right?
This is a custom? No. No.
Nope.
Nope. I checked all the copyright laws. I am 100% in compliance. I am not copywriting anything. Which is why it's a Kansas themed wreath.
Or I guess we could have put the wonderful Wizard of Oz.
No. Because it's too close to the Wizard of Oz. So.
And then it's a very clever design.
Thank you. I think it turned out okay, considering that I had to wait to find everything that I wanted. The hardest idea was trying to find a windmill blade small enough to put on a grapevine that would not be too overwhelmingly large, you know. So.
I think this would still definitely fit in a 24-inch box.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because the ribbon tails that are hanging off, those are not impacting the design at all. So,
Beautiful, good.
thank you. So there you guys have it. It is a Kansas themed wreath. Perfect. I would find that this will be perfect for a library because it gives you an incentive to read. It would also look great in a child's room or a gift for, like you said, anyone who happens to love the book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz by Frank Baum. That's public domain. So you just have to be careful on what you use. You can use the terms, anything that's found in the book is free game. Anything that you find that is a part of the movie is not. So, but it will become available in 2035, in which everybody and their mother is going to be like, Wizard of Oz wreath. But there you guys have it. All of the design is complete. Did I scoot it? Oh, you zoomed in.
Yeah, I zoomed in just to kind of show them some.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for joining me on a Sunday night. Hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you next week, Friday. Bye, everyone.